Hey, welcome to Caption Guy, episode 1 on our mission to win the New Yorker Caption Contest. The contest is run every week when the New Yorker publishes a cartoon, and our job is to come up with a witty caption for that cartoon. The contest is open a week. After that week, crowd votes on all the entries. Following that week, 3 finalists are selected, and then once again the crowd votes on those 3 entries, and a winner is chosen 2 weeks after that. You may be thinking that all you need to do is come up with a funny caption for the contest, but funny captions don't win it. New Yorkery captions win it. And what I'm going to try to do here today is show you what I think goes into making a New Yorkery cartoon caption. So let's start. So if we look at this line as humor, or if you drive on the wrong side of the street, that'll be humor. Go in this direction, you're going to find your dry humor. This way, I like to call not dry humor. If you keep going far enough in this direction, you're going to run into something called the wall of unfunny. What you're going to find on the other side of this wall are things like service manuals, Tolstoy, definitely not funny, and Bactine bottles. Now, when I was a kid, there were no smartphones, so you go to the bathroom, you had to read whatever was available. You're not playing Plants vs. Zombies in there. You had to read the Bactine, you had to read the Lysol spray. It was not fun at all. Just this side of the wall of unfunny, you're going to find your golf clap humor. Very polite, not hysterical. That's a little farther than you want to be for the New Yorker. On the other side of the spectrum, you're going to find what I call your corn stew. Everything corny is going to be over here. You're going to find puns, double entendres. You're going to find people always posting their little editorial comments, put little op-ed statements. They're really not funny. In fact, people, it's pathetic. Stop. And your very verbose captions. I see captions that are 4 or 5 lines long. I don't have that kind of attention span. That's why I'm writing captions and I'm not Leo Tolstoy. So verbose, don't do it. That leads us to our first rule is brevity is the soul of wit. So keep your captions short. Nobody wants to read these long backstory captions. No, it doesn't work. So somewhere in between here, the corn stew and the wall of unfunny is where you want your New Yorker caption to be. Probably right around the middle here is going to be your obvious caption. And an example of that, here's a recent cartoon that ran. In fact, it's being judged right now. It's where 2 hikers encounter a jar of honey that's a bear. The obvious one that comes right to mind is, he looks sweet. You know, it's kind of clever, not really, but it's very obvious. So you want to avoid the obvious. Really what you want to do is you got to work on it a little bit. It's going to bring us to our second rule. Your caption needs to be complex yet simple. And that means it's complex for you to come up with, but it's simple for the viewer to understand. They're going to get it right away. One of my favorite examples of complex yet simple is this caption that was done quite a long time ago. A little car in a psychiatrist's office. Are the clowns inside you now? That's brilliant, brilliant caption. I wish I had thought of it, and it won quite a bit ago. So you don't want your obvious. You want to be complex yet simple. So if you were to work on this one a little bit longer, you may come up with the caption somewhere along the lines of, well, it looks like he thinks we're toast. Now the concept is there, but the execution is really, really bad. So what you want to do, once you grab on to a good concept, you want to do our third rule, and that is boil it down. How can I take this caption and make it brief, complex yet simple, and just the basic elements? And what you would come up with for that is we're toast. And I didn't come up with this caption for that contest. I wish I did. Didn't think of it too late, but there you go. So what are we aiming for? We want to be a little right of obvious. Somewhere right around here is going to be your target. The problem with this target, though, is that there's an invisible shield that comes up from this target, and that is the judges. They're subjective. So sometimes they may take an obvious caption and it may become a finalist. Sometimes they may take a pun or a double entendre and somehow it makes it into the finals. Although by that point it's no longer a pun or a double entendre, it's a I see what you did there. Doesn't make it any better. It's still a pun. So far we know, don't make a pun, don't make it too dry, don't make it obvious. Brief, complex, and boil it down. And hope that the judges, like it. And I will give you one cautionary tale. Sometimes I will think of these, I'll wake up in the middle of the night thinking of captions, and my caption, my thoughts will take some circuitous route, and I'll go and it'll bend and twist, and I'll come up with what I think is the most clever caption ever. And here's an example of one recently. There's prehistoric people in a 5-story Flintstone type house being waving to some friends coming up, and somehow my caption wound up being, who invited the Gentrys? It was brilliant at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that brings us to rule number 4. Don't invite the Gentrys. And if you come up with a caption at 3 o'clock in the morning that you've been thinking of for 2 hours, don't submit it right away. Let it sink in, tell it to some friends, see what they say, and if it survives that, go ahead and submit it. You're only allowed 1 submission per email address per week, so make them count. And that's about it. I think next time we're going to actually go through the process of captioning some cartoons, and we'll see what happens. Right about now, I should be coming up with a good sign-off, so how about ride, caption, ride? No, that wasn't it.